Well, welcome back, folks. This is part two of our Endless Legends tutorial look at kind of going over things. Didn't actually mean to separate this into multiple parts, but unfortunately I hit the stop button instead of the pause button. So I guess we're going to break it up into multiple parts. So, back in the city management here. Obviously, more guys, the better off you can, more things you can put resources into, and get the bonuses going for that regions. Obviously, if you want to build things faster, you want to put that here so that you can get better production, science output, more dust, which is your gold, and influence. We haven't really talked about influence yet, but we'll get to that here shortly. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner, we'll show you all the different options that you can build. And there's not that many different units in the game, but I'm going to show you what the interesting thing that they're incorporating into this is. If we click on, or just hover over actually, you can see that we can do seed storage here. We have extra 10% food on city and an extra 20% food production from city. And it costs 1 dust for upkeep. It costs us 80 production, and you can see right now we're making 10 per turn, so it's going to obviously take us 8 turns to produce a new seed storage. Obviously we have a sewer system and the Founders Memorial, which is going to give us bonuses of +2 food, +2 production, +2 dust, +2 science, and +1 on your city. This can only be built once in your empire, so obviously it's a one-time bonus. And of course, if we wanted to build we can raise our city, basically lower it to the, remove it, build a new city, and we can produce the Descartes Rangers, and we can produce a settler, but I believe we can't build that yet because I think it takes one of the units. I'm not 100% sure on that. But anyways, let's look at our little mini map or interface here up at the top left hand corner. Many different things. This is our empire screen. This is going to tell us about our empire. And also our minor factions that we assimilate into our empire, which we talked about when we came across that minor faction. I believe each empire can only assimilate 3, so you have to kind of pick and choose which ones you want to do. There will be strategic resources that you can discover that you'll have access to, luxury resources as well. And we'll talk about those two. Stockpiles. One of the things we're going to be spending influence on is the empire plan, which you do basically every 20 turns. Once you have enough influence, you can then spend that influence to get more science output, more military output, more of just about everything on there. And of course, here's our basic overview of our race and the bonuses we're getting. As I mentioned in the first episode, kind of a little bit easier to see on this screen than it is originally. So we get +1 industry on train with 4s. We will get the Wild Walkers main quest. Each race has their own quest line that they can follow through, and if you complete your quest line, if you're the first one to complete it, you actually can win the game that way. Provides the ability to detect opponents' armies in your empire and in the adjacent regions. Survival instincts, vision of glory, and empire approval content. So that's the first screen there. Second one there is going to give you a list of all your different cities. You can see at a glance what they're producing, what resources you're getting, the overall approval, etc., etc. Here's a research screen. So research is kind of interesting in this game. It's basically broken up into different what do they call them? Eras, I guess. So you start off obviously in era 1, and it goes all the way up to era 6. But you can see right now era 5 and 6 are disabled because, again, this is just an alpha build. This is pre-released software. Each different faction race in this game start off with 2 different researches already done. We know the sewer system and we know the storage seeds, which were on our main screen there. When we looked at our city, these were things that we could build. And to get up to Era 2, you need to have a certain amount of Era 1 research done. And you can see if I just hover over this, we have 2 of 10 projects required to unlock this era. So once we complete any one of these 10, or I'm sorry, as soon as we complete 10 of these researches, any 10, we will unlock Era 2, and then we can continue researching Era 1, or we can then move on to Era 2. And obviously each one of these is going to give you different bonuses, different things you can build. This will be a marketplace, so you can build a marketplace. This one is going to give us +3 city defense cap on the city and -1 gold from city upkeep. This one here gives us a shaman, which is one of our units we can then produce. And that sounds like a good thing to do. Obviously, trying to get our economy up and going would be kind of good here. Here's a mint, which is going to give us extra money. Let's see, dust dredgers. They're going to give us money on terrain with rivers and +3 dust on terrain with water, sea or lake only, not a river. Alright, so basically money if we live near water. This one is going to give us unit buyout reduction from the city, or all kinds of different research basically. So we're just going to click on this. You can queue them up by just clicking on the second one and then the third one, and you can see that it's now numbered. This will be the first one, this will be the second one, this will be the third one. If you don't wish to do that, you can just click back on them and choose different ones, and say, oh, you know what, I'm going to do this. Nope, I'd rather do this. No, I don't want this one. So any way you want to do it. There's no formula of how you have to progress, and each one of these areas is just split up into different location or different kind of empire-wide bonuses. So military is up here in the top. You have science and industry over here on the left. You have empire and expansion down here at the bottom, and of course economy and population over here on the right-hand side. So if you're looking for military, you're going to look up here at the top, etc., etc. It'll tell you how many turns down here at the bottom. It's going to take us 12 turns to research this, based upon our current settings. And yeah, that's pretty much basic research in a nutshell. Next tab over is going to give us our quest journal. Right now we don't have any quests, but we will get our first quest here as soon as we end this first turn. We'll get our faction quest, and then throughout the game you'll get other quests from some of the minor races that'll pop in, and from what I understand, they're all varied quests. Some will be go to this location, go find this item, go do this, go kill this person, all kinds of different things that you can complete, and they'll give you different bonuses or rewards for doing that. Here is our empire, all our military units, so you can see what they are. You can click on them and take a gander at what they're doing, what kind of bonuses they have, and we're going to look at that here in just a minute actually. Yeah, we'll look at that in just a second. Here's the diplomacy screen. You can see our other opponents. They have question marks because obviously we haven't met them yet, but this is one of the things you can spend your influence on. Besides the screen over here that has the empire plan that you spend influence on, you can also spend influence to declare war or make peace or anything, but you need influence to be able to do that. Last but not least, there's another tab here, but it's basically disabled until you research the marketplace. Once you research the marketplace, you'll have access to different resources and stuff, and then that'll obviously take you back to the main screen there. So I think that pretty much covers the basics there. We need to decide what we're going to build. We're going to build a... What should we build here? Seed storage gives us extra food. Let's build... no, let's not build that. Oops. Take that off. Okay, click on it again to take it off. I want the big bonus one first, because it's only going to take us 6 turns. So we're going to do that first. It's going to give us really good bonuses per the whole thing. So up here at the top will be your different buildings. Down here will be your different units. If we actually look at our units, heroes. Okay, so let's look at our units actually. Let's see. If we click on this unit here, you can see that this is our ranger here. What we want to do is actually... I want to actually go in and look at the units. Maybe I have to end the turn. So we'll go ahead and end the turn. I think we've done everything that we need to do. Since we've met them, okay, dismiss that, and then we can just click end turn. Now I do like this menu system. You can see down here there are the other factions. Right now we don't know them, so they're not filled in. They just have question marks. You can also show or hide the grid on the mini map. And this is very interesting. We have not talked about this yet, but this part at the top here is actually Agura will be plagued, basically thrown into a winter that comes. And that is going to be very, very important that you prepare for winter. When winter comes, basically everything on the mini-map changes. You lose all your food production from your tiles. This is where your stockpiles here are going to come into play, because anything that you've stockpiled here you will use to then feed your population or make them happy, or you know, anything you need for industry, or just basically all your different abilities and stuff will be disabled during wintertime. And you can see here it's going to come between 37 to 53 turns. So we got quite a while before winter's going to hit, and I believe it's random how long it lasts and how severe it is. And then once it goes away, it'll come back at a certain point after that. And I think it's called... It's not called winter. It's called... it's played with by the return of winter. It's called dark something another, darkness or dark times or something similar to that. Alright, so we'll end our turn here. Alright, so here we go. We are on turn number 2, and this is where we will have our new quest, Trees or Towers. It's been a difficult winter, not merely the weather and the hunger, but all of the rivalries within the Wild Walkers have descended upon the head that wears the crown, your head. During the long cold months, when both space and activity are lacking, tempers flare and arguments begin. As usual, it is the shamanists of the Shaman clan who fan the flames. We should not have left the forest, our gods will desert us, we will be weak without the sharing, blah blah blah. You can read the rest of that. So we need to explore the map and search 3 ruins, and we will complete this quest. And as I mentioned, one of the ways to actually win the game is for each faction has their own quest line story that they need to go through and complete all the quests. And once you complete all your quests, then you will win the game as long as you're the first one to do it. So that's one of the ways to win. If we do this, we will also get a reward, which is a star blade, which looks like an item here. Two-handed sword, and it's going to give us +6 on an attack and +6 something else, etc., etc. Alright, so there's our quest. We can always go into our quest line here, and you will see Trees and Towers, and kind of gives you an overview of what you need to do, etc., etc. So that's why that was empty earlier. So now for our turn here, we'll actually move our units. I just love how that just fades away into nothingness here. And you can see that we've now at the border, we are blue. We own this region. If we zoom out, you will see that everything in this region has been claimed by us because we built a city. As I mentioned in episode 1, you can only have one city per region, and so you have to decide where is a good spot to build the city. So you can see that we've pretty much explored just about the extent of this region. And now we can start looking at other regions to start to conquer. You can see here we have a gold deposit. So obviously it's going to give us extra dust for having a gold deposit. But we will continue moving. Are you done moving? They are done moving. Alright. So we'll use these units. You will notice I can't go up on this hex here because there's a cliff side there. It might be kind of hard because I'm zoomed out, but there's a cliff hex side there. So let's come this way. Okay, we come across another minor faction. This is the Haunts. I love some of the artwork they've done in this game, by the way. I should mention that. Gives extra science on a city and an extra 5% per pacified village on the city. Alright, so I think that's where these guys are right there. Alright. So we'll continue moving and exploring and going out. You can see that our city here is still 5 turns off on producing our Founders Memorial. Probably what I should do is come over here and explore this unit, or this ruin here. But right now, I think we're done with this turn, and obviously, now that I'm done explaining some stuff, we can go through a few turns and get to see how things are. You can see here we've got some our quest line story up here in the top right hand corner. We'll go ahead and take a look at what this is. Oh, we got a location over here, which are some ruins there. We have some rumbling stones, which are going to give us extra production and extra money. We've got some geothermal pits, and of course we have exotic extincts, something like that. Lots of food production there. Alright, so can we continue moving? Yes, I guess we can. So you can encounter another minor faction. These are the S6. Alright. So they're over there. And you will see if I zoom out, you will see we have another region here. It's kind of a brownish because that is the means it hasn't been claimed yet. So let's see here. Let's head up this way. Counter another minor faction. These are the Delvers. Give us extra money. Alright. Nope. See how when I try to go from this hex to this hex, because there's a cliff here, my unit has to walk around and up. So you have to definitely be aware of the different cliff sides and hex sides that are going on there. Yep, we know that. We know that. Let's go ahead and end turn number 3 there. Population evolution. Let's see what that does to us. The population of Mardnith has grown to 2. Alright, so if we click back on our city here, you will see we have 2 little dudes now. So one's been assigned to industry, one's been assigned to food. So you can adjust these however you want. Again, we could just move this guy over here. We can continue, with whatever we wish to put our bonuses towards. I think putting it towards industry will be good. And of course, putting it towards food would get us a third person that much quicker, obviously. But remember, the more people you have, the more food that it's going to take to keep them happy. So when we had one guy, it was only 2 food. Now we have 4 food. That's what this is, -4. So you don't want to grow too big too fast if you can't support the food production from your city if you have tiles with very few food. Fortunately for us, we have a river flowing through, which is giving us a +1 there, and we have the huge tree, which is giving us a bonus of 3 food on this tile as opposed to 1. Alright, so good. Let's continue moving our units here just to see what we come across. Looks like we got some escaped specimens. Hardy beasts roam the area, valued not only for their meat but for their tough bone and thick pelts. So if we have that in our area, we would get an extra food and some extra money. Let's continue moving. Looks like we've encountered somebody else over there. And we come across a earth tower. You can see the 10 with the little pink thumb. That means 10 happiness. Of course, happiness is very important to keep your people happy, because if you keep them happy, you will get bonuses. If you look at our happiness here, we're content, so we're not having any effect, positive or negative. If we had a positive morale modifier, we would get extra production, or maybe extra food, or maybe extra science, or money, or influence. So keeping your people happy, obviously, is very important. I'm not sure I should be sending my guys and leaving my territory completely defenseless like this, but one of our quests is to explore the map. So these are, again, normal size. We had these on normal size. So if you want to have more of these regions, where you could build cities, more cities basically inside of regions, you'd put that on small, and maybe it'd be the half as big as normal. So you could have a lot bigger. You could still have, say, a small map with lots of different cities in it, and a medium-sized map. And you can see a medium-sized map is still going to be rather huge. I believe it was normal, not medium-sized map. Still going to be rather large, but because we have the normal regions, you still can only put so many different cities inside that map. So this whole region right here, if I zoom in just like that, you can see this is a whole nother region. So if I claim this region by placing a city there, which hopefully I will do that soon, then that whole region is mine until someone declares war and tries to take it over from me. Oops, I probably should have moved my units. Maybe I think I did, actually. So how is our production coming along here? 2 more turns. I wonder if I can buy this out. Click to buy out the construction at a cost of 22 gold. Make it available next turn. Alright, so we will do that. It's only 22 gold. And what we're trying to do is get us another one of these guys, because I wanted to try to explore those regions for you, the ruins there. So we're going to go ahead and expand out some more here. Alright. So moss pearls, obviously good, and of course I could turn on and off. The resources are kind of a little bit distracting. I do like the hex grid, though. It's not too distracting, but it's just enough where you can actually see where you're moving around. You can turn that on and off as well, but probably don't need this until it's time to figure out where to build the next city. So you can see, building the next city, this is going to give us 4 food, 3 food, 2, 2, 2, 2. So if we build a city right here, we'd have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We'd have 16 food. This city would grow very fast, very quickly, just by putting in this location. But you can see we only have 0 industry. We'd only have 3 science and 1 dust. So it would grow very fast. It'd become a very big city, but unfortunately, it wouldn't produce very well. It wouldn't be very good for science. As opposed to maybe over here, you can see this is perfect for us because we get, I believe we get bonuses, yes, +1 for terrain with forest. So being the wild walkers, we want to live in the forest or use the forest. You can see if we build a city here, we would have 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14. We'd have 16 industries. So producing a city here would be rather advantageous for us because it would be able to produce units rather quickly. Obviously over here, not so great. In fact, probably shouldn't have built our city maybe in this location. It's tough to say. It's tough to say. It might have been better to build it over here. The salt deserts. So we still have 8 more turns to get our shaman. And let's see, did we move our other unit here? I don't believe we have. Where is it? There it is. So he's discovered another minor faction, the Users. Okay. They're located there. You see a big cliffside right here, so very defensible position, obviously. I think we're done. Let's go ahead and go to the next turn here. Construction has been completed of our Founders Memorial, and again, that's going to give us 2 food, 2 industry, 2 gold, 2 science, and +1 influence. We can only be built once. Alright, excellent. So let's click on our city here and see how our production and everything's coming along here. So you can see under the modifiers there, extra 24 from city improvements and -10 from city upkeep. We're now up to 2 influence per turn, so you definitely want to start storing that up. Alright, and we're going to build us a ranger here and try to explore this region, and then maybe come down around in this location. And I think we're... Should we everybody move? Let's see. No, you haven't moved yet. So you can see how big this region is right here. This is, nice big size region. That's normal size. So you can put it on huge regions, and you could have a medium-sized map with huge regions. So you're fighting over just a few areas as opposed to a normal map that has more regions. And if you went with small regions, you would be fighting over even more regions. I think I really like that idea, actually, so we're going to see how it plays out. Where's our unit? Here it is. Can't quite make it. Okay. Let's see here. So we got another region we've come across now. Excellent. Zoom in nice and close. And we have, it looks like a nice little metropolis there. There's the Delvers village. Excellent. Alright, and here's some good information about your different city locations. You can see the color and the name of your city. You see how many, I believe that's how many units you have in the city. This is how many guys you have. This is what you're producing in the city, and this is how long it's going to be. So at a quick glance, you can see I got nobody in the city. I got two workers. I'm building a ranger, and it's going to take me 3 more turns. Probably keeping somebody near our home would be good. That's a question mark. This means we've got a quest or something here, I think. Maybe, no? Not sure what that question mark is. Well, let's see. Can we buy this? 38 gold. Sure. Let's build that, get it done, and seed storage, which gives us better food, or approval. And if the city is happy, we would actually get extra influence and lose a gold from the city upkeep. It's only going to take 5 turns. That's going to take 5 turns as well. I think we go for this. I think influence is going to be very important here. For example, like, just to give you an idea, that's not the screen I'm looking for. This is the screen. I think basically this hasn't been unlocked until 20 turns, but each one of these things, if you pull it out to the next bar, basically I think costs 30 influence. So you can see, you know, if I wanted to increase my military output, I would pull this up to the next bar there, and I think that costs like 30 influence. So having lots of influence is not whoa and hello, what are you and what are you doing here? You are a roaming army, and I'm not liking that at all. So that's probably what that question mark was, is this roaming army. What are you specifically? You're a demon. It's got 44 life, 36 attack, 4 initiative, speed, defense. Yuck. Good thing we bought that unit. I do like the models, obviously. Really nice looking. So fortunately for us, we do have one of our rangers in our town. Let's produce another ranger, and actually can we pull that above that? And we can't buy it yet because we don't have enough money. Yikes, this guy looks like he's bad news. Bad news. Now, one of the other interesting things that has been incorporated into this game is, let's see, how do I get to the actual unit screen now? Search for duties. It's going to reveal treasures, enemies, or quests, or nothing at all. Search for clues at this. Oh, I gotcha. Alright. How do I actually get to the actual units screen? Let's see if I can do it this way. I'm sure there's an easier way. I'm just trying to figure out. So if I click on this unit here, this is our units. These are the different units we can produce. We're obviously researching a shaman, so once we research the shaman will show up here on the list. Each of your different units has, there's I think 5 different classifications. There are either infantry, cavalry, pikemen, ranged, and flying units. And it's kind of like a rock, paper, scissor type thing where ranged units are good against flying units are good against pikemen or maybe cavalry. Cavalry's good against infantry. Infantry's good against pikemen, etc., etc. So you're not going to have like hundreds and hundreds of different units, which is kind of cool. It's kind of bad, but it's kind of cool, you know. But what you can do with your units is you can basically customize each one of them by adding items and abilities to that unit. So you can see right now we have a shield and we have a bow. We have a tier 1 shield and we have a tier 1 bow. So what we can do is we can come into our unit designs and we can click on the edit, and you can see what our unit does and all the different abilities and yada yada yada. So let's say I wanted to add a helmet to this unit. I would just click on the helmet and drag it over here, and you will notice its defense went up from 4 to 5 by adding that helmet on there. But of course the production costs is going to go up for having, it's going to take longer to produce this unit. And of course you can research better items. So, one of the things we might want to research is a better bow and make this a more powerful ranged unit. In fact, right now we're using a crossbow and a shield, so which is kind of more of a defensive kind of ranger. Now, if we replace that crossbow with our regular bow, you will see our bow is two-handed, so we lose our shield, so our defense went down. But I believe our attack went up from 18 to 19, and our initiative also went up from 4 to 6. So we can specifically design units for different purposes and different abilities and different bonuses and such like that. And I think once we get done, we can actually rename it somehow. Can we? Oh, okay, so it automatically renames it, but I think we can just click on that and edit it somewhere. Here it is. I'm sure there's probably a way to rename it. I'm probably just missing it somewhere. So yeah, basically now we've created a Ranger, second version of Ranger, which is more of a two-handed bow person. And of course, like I said, all of these things are going to be upgraded when you research them. So, if you research better bows, then we can equip our better bows on our units, and that way you're going to have lots and lots of different units. And even though you basically have like 5 set units to work with, whether they're ranged units or melee units, or cavalry, flying units, and I think the last one's pikemen. Don't quote me on that, but they might be calling them pikemen. They might be calling them skirmishers, or who knows, whatever. But so maybe we want to. Oh, we already added a. What is this? Armor. Should we put armor? We'd add armor and a helmet on this person. Obviously, our production cost goes way up, but we have better attack. And obviously we can't put a shield on there. This is for like rings and jewelry, accessories basically. So let's apply that. And you see we got version 3 of it. And once we get our shaman researched, we will be able to do the same thing. So fortunately for us, this Yahoo, I believe, is a flying unit. So if he attacks us, hopefully our ranged unit would get some bonuses against that. So, is everybody moved? I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and check just to make sure. Nope, doesn't look like we've all moved. Okay, one more space. Yep, alright, so that looks like... That's interesting. That is really good. So we know there's nobody that's living here, and nobody is living here right now, and nobody's coming across the water for a while, hopefully. So we should be able to get these 2 units, or these 2 regions, without having to fight for them or try to, attack enemies or anything like that. Our other unit here, who's still exploring around here. I think these are kind of like the game's elves. They're not technically called elves, but you can see that it only costs us 1 to move through the forest. And we like the woods. So all kinds of bonuses for kind of being elvish, I guess. I think that is it for this turn. I think I'll go ahead and separate this episode from the next one, and we'll pick it up next time. So again, this is Endless Legends Alpha Build. Remember that. So there's a lot to come. Hopefully they're going to just keep adding things and making this game better. And actually, I wanted to turn those off because they are kind of distracting, but I do want to keep on the hexes. And we'll see you next time, folks. Thanks for watching.